tell you there is some moving and shaking going on in the Indiana Fever organization because they have definitely let go of a player. Now, I know y'all thinking, what does this mean? This means Caitlin Clark return is sooner rather than later. Could that be why we did not see Caitlin come back? I mean, we did not see Caitlin travel with the team this past week. I don't know.
In the world of basketball, the Indiana Fever recently made a move that has everyone talking. One major question was raised by the decision to cut a player who was meant to serve as a stopgap until Caitlin Clark returned. Will Clark return earlier than anticipated?
Indiana Fever have officially released Kyra Lambert, a guard from overseas who Stephanie White signed on a trust me bro recommendation. Somebody who Stephanie White didn't even know existed up until about 8 days ago. Unfortunately for Kyra Lambert, her time on the Indiana Fever has come, and her time on the Indiana Fever has gone. Best of luck to you and your future endeavors. This has been...
Kyra Lambert was brought in a few days ago to treat a Fever that was in dire need. With injuries accumulating quickly, their point guard situation was in complete disarray. Key players Sydney Colson, Ari McDonald, and Caitlin Clark were all out. In the hopes that she could fill the void, they signed Lambert, who had just finished a successful term in the Greek A1 League.
Why is this move curious? Well, Lambert was on a 7-day deal, so the Fever could just be looking at this break knowing that her contract was going to expire anyway and not wanting to waste her time. But under the hardship rules, as that it has been, put out there and publicized, the Fever only had to release one of the two players between Odyssey Sims and Kyra Lambert once Caitlin Clark was back. But one of them was going to have to go once they...
The Fever hoped Lambert would be their short-term savior because she was prepared to prove herself. This is where things get insane, though. She was fired before her 7-day contract was even over. This isn't your typical roster change, either. This basketball tactic carries big stakes. Why would they bench a player who has hardly had time to establish herself? The solution appears to be obvious. The return of Caitlin Clark is nearer than we realize.
It's a blessing, having the journey that I've had and just, remaining faithful, trusting God and doing the work and just to see it all come back around and have this opportunity.
What's this opportunity in the W mean, given all that you've worked to get to this point?
Yeah. I mean, it means everything, to, again, just remain faithful and, trust the process. It speaks to resiliency, it speaks to faith, and, I'm really excited to be here.
What's your familiarity, if anything, with this team, with Steph, with how they want to run things?
Yeah, I mean, I've been watching the W for years. I mean, it's the best basketball in the world. So, I've been watching and I've been...
Fans are already starting to connect the dots. The exciting part comes next. Performance isn't the point here. The goal here is to create space for something much larger. Lambert's abilities weren't the reason the Fever chose to waive her. It was about the future and what lies ahead. The athlete who lights up arenas and ignites ESPN is Caitlin Clark.
Clearly, Odyssey Sims has played herself into more of a role for the Fever. She got a bunch of minutes in the game on Sunday, 42 minutes for Sims. Lambert didn't play, right? So you can see relative one to the other, where the Fever were looking at things from the pecking order standpoint. Now, there's also the Sophie Cunningham injury, but to be honest, I'm not sure how that would impact things unless they felt they needed somebody at that position rather than more depth at the point guard.
After missing time due to a groin ailment, Clark is almost ready to return. There is just one possible explanation for Lambert's publication date. The Fever require that roster spot because Caitlin Clark will return earlier than anticipated.
We just saw the most pointless contract of all time. The most pointless 7-day of all time. Kyra Lambert. They didn't even give Kyra Lambert a page on the WNBA website. I'm not joking. Like, you type in WNBA.com and you look at the Fever's last game. Maybe they updated it because she actually saw the floor. Fever versus Connecticut. Kyra Lambert played a grand total of 4 seconds. She played 4 seconds. It would have been better off just to not play her. Oh wait, it rounded up to 5. They didn't even give her a WNBA page. They did not even give her a WNBA.
So why cut Lambert and keep Odyssey Sims? It all comes down to strategy. Sims contributes depth and seasoned leadership, and when Clark returns, she can transition to a supporting role with ease. This action guarantees the Fever's short-term stability and prepares them for Clark's comeback. All of this is a part of a larger strategy to maximize the team's chances of success following Clark's return.
Fever fans, I don't know, we might have some good news. Well, we might have some great news. Cece, my precious Cece might be returning. Might be. You hear me? Because they just released Kyra Lambert. You hear me? She had 3 ACL tears. So she wasn't good for nothing anyway. She fragile. How you have that many ACL tears? But thank you for providing us 7 days of your presence. You hear me? We needed you to fill in. You hear me? Because the GOAT, the greatest of all time, is about to return.
Let's discuss timing. This place seems too ideal to be a coincidence. The break that the Fevers take following their match versus Connecticut fits Clark's recuperation schedule exactly. It is evident from ESPN's injury reports and the team's scheduled sessions that Clark wants to resume full practice mode by the end of the break. With the August 26 Seattle game appearing to be her most likely debut, that leaves open the possibility of a spectacular comeback just when the team most needs it.
That once Caitlin Clark was back, one of the 2 hardship signings was going to have to go. So that's naturally where people's heads were thinking when it was reported on the ESPN broadcast that Clark, the hope was she would return to practice this week with target dates the 22nd, 24th, 26th, those games being thrown out as potential return dates. Now, I don't have any other updates on that. I mean, I took Stephanie White's comments as they hope still she returns to at the regular season a little less confident than the previous.
If it had been written, the planning would have been flawless. The Fever have grown incredibly even without Clark. Even with a damaged squad, they managed to battle and defeat elite teams. Natasha Howard and other players have stepped up, demonstrating that this team is more deep than anyone had thought.
Can the Fever please invest in international scouts? They definitely need to invest in international scouts because I know your boy John Liquidator ain't the best advocate when it comes to overseas players, but something I would say, they play hard, bro. Those overseas players play like they got something to prove. I give them that. But far as me, I feel like we got enough talent here at home in our home country to get players. Somebody said every day I question if Amber Cox and Stephanie White are even on the same page.
Clark will be returning to a club that is winning and has the potential to make all the difference in the playoffs. It's hardly surprising that the Fever have earned the respect of their rivals given their remarkable ascent. The crucial query now is, when will Clark return? The Seattle Storm game appears to be her most likely return, and ESPN has set August 22nd to 26th as their target date. The Fever might have a good season finale and possibly make an unexpected late playoff push if she is ready. For the team and the WNBA overall, that is a major thing. Everything could be different if Clark were healthy.
Throughout her second season in the WNBA, Caitlin Clark has posted 16.5 points, 5 rebounds, and 8.8 assists per game for the Indiana Fever. Clark started the season on a tear under Stephanie White, but has since struggled to stay on the court, playing her second season as a professional. The Fever have 9 remaining games of their regular season schedule. They have a long break before their next matchup on Friday. The venue will be open, giving Clark a chance to rehab as the Fever takes several days off from game action.
Let's face it, this goes beyond Clark's comeback. It concerns the Fever's chances of making the playoffs. The squad had trouble last season, but this year they've shown they can still compete without their franchise star. With Clark back in the mix, just think of what this group may do. It might be a fairy tale comeback if they have a solid season finale and qualify for the playoffs. It's also easy to picture them making an impact in the postseason with Clark at the forefront. Many people have taken issue with Kyra Lambert's decision to waive. Why chop off the person who was meant to be the future? Well, the present isn't the point. It has to do with the future. Another player merely to cover a void wasn't needed by the Fever. Someone who could play game was what they required. And Caitlin Clark is that individual.
We have a chance. But the only thing I'm concerned about is she 100% healthy? You hear me? And I need to know what's going on with Sophie. Because that's her enforcer. Because everybody else on the team be acting like they scared and softer than Charmin tissue. You hear me? Y'all better protect my precious CC by any means necessary. Playoffs. That's right there in the view. You hear me? Here we come. The referees need to get it in gear. I still don't trust them.
The Fever's willingness to cut Lambert so soon demonstrates how much they depend on Clark's comeback. When Clark gets back, let's discuss her role. Everyone is aware that she isn't a typical player. She is the type of athlete who can lead a group. Prior to her injury, Clark was averaging 16.5 points, 8.8 assists, and 5.0 rebounds, which demonstrates how much the Fever have been missing her.
That they are being extraordinarily deliberate with every step in this process when it comes to Caitlin Clark. But like I said on Sunday, that's the kind of win, if I'm CC, that I watch and say, I got to get back out there. Like, nothing can stop me from rejoining this team this season. That fight that they showed.
Reviving a star player isn't the only goal here. Restoring the main focus of their offense is the goal. For this team, she will be the final component that completes the picture. For Caitlin Clark, it goes beyond simply playing hoops. The stakes are higher when she returns. She is returning for more than just the Fever's success or her own well-being. She is returning to prove herself something. After a protracted recuperation, this is her opportunity to prove to the world that she is still capable. Regaining her status as one of the top players in the league is the goal.
If she's going to play, I hope that she comes back successful. I hope that she can come back as a difference maker, because the playoffs are around the corner and the Indiana Fever are much better when she's on the team. She takes so much responsibility and able to dictate pace and able to control the momentum of the game and also generate points for herself and for others. And she makes the game easier for all her teammates. So I know they would love to have her back. My biggest concern is the injuries, and for selfish reasons, I would prefer her, Paige Beckers, Angel Reese to just sit out.
This is what everyone is genuinely curious about. What time will Caitlin Clark be back? The indications point to a time frame of August 22nd to 26th. There is a tangible buzz of fan excitement about Clark's comeback. Countdown timers, celebratory gifts, and conjecture are all over social media. Supporters anticipate a dramatic return, and they think Clark's arrival could be the decisive factor for this squad. There is genuine excitement. Might this be the catalyst that turns the craze into a postseason contender? Clark's mental toughness is just as crucial as his physical recuperation. Recovering from an injury involves more than simply getting back on the court. It also entails getting psychologically fit and overcoming any rust. There is no denying Clark's perseverance and work ethic. Additionally, more than just her body will be prepared when she gets back. It will also be her attitude. She will need to play the mental game when she returns to the court. The WNBA as a whole will be impacted by Clark's comeback, not just the team. Given that one of the greatest names in the league is returning, teams are already on edge. It will completely change the playoffs dynamic. Everyone is curious about how Clark's arrival would alter the course of events and if the Fever can capitalize on her comeback to extend their postseason run. The Fever's decision-making process has long-term consequences. It concerns the franchise's long-term prospects. They have deliberately positioned themselves for success not only this season but also in the years to come by maintaining Sims and letting go of Lambert. They have produced young players who are taking charge and ensured that Clark will be joining a deeper, more experienced team upon her return. The goal is to create a winning culture in Indiana, and Clark's return is only the first step in that direction.
To this season and Caitlin Clark's return. If they hope to make the playoffs, this is what's got to be done. She's got to come back, and she's going to have to win. And she got she's got to win even with Stephanie White as her coach. Good Lord, she will be the GOAT if she can pull that off at this point.
The Indiana Fever may use Caitlin Clark's return as motivation to go far in the playoffs. The WNBA playoffs may need a healthy, driven Fever squad this year that has nothing to lose and everything to prove. Don't lose sight of Indiana. This is only the beginning of the story. Now that Clark is back, the Fever might take everyone by surprise and go in a direction nobody anticipated. Will they succeed?